Today we're going to do a reader Q&A. So this is a question that I received from one of my readers. If you want to be one of my readers, make sure you get the free gift below. What difference in approach on Facebook and YouTube would you take for a new business versus an established business? Well, some of the approach I would take would be the same for both. And that would be to start with a goal in mind. Whichever platform you're using, you want to have a goal and a purpose for using it. Also, whatever content you create within that platform, each piece of content, you want to have a goal and a purpose. In my view, one of the goals of any content or platform is to be able to get the contact information of the person so that I can stay in contact with them and carry on the conversation. I want to nurture that relationship. Now, some of the differences would be your expectations. With an established business, you're already going to have some momentum because you're going to have either some followers on the platform or a list that you can promote things to. If you're a new business, you're still building all of that, so it's going to take a lot more time, energy, and money to get that momentum and traction. Now that's a very general answer, and this is a very general question, but I want to try and give you a little bit more details. But before I do that, let me introduce myself. I'm Valerie Pugsley. I study marketing and mindset, and I teach service providers and small business owners how to implement that in their business so that they can get the best results for where they're at right now. I do that through inspired strategic solutions, helping them connect the pieces so that they can maximize their efforts. So an example of the momentum that I was talking about is this video is part of something called Veda, Vlog Every Day in August. And prior to August coming about, I sent out an email to my list explaining to them what it was I was doing and asking for their support for them to like and share videos that they found of value. And as a result of that, I actually have a lead from one of the videos that I did. It addressed the need of one of the people on my list, and we will probably be moving forward in business. Now, would that have happened if I didn't have a list at all? Probably not. So that's just an example of some of the momentum that you can get if you already have some things in place. You don't have to have a lot in place, but you have to have something in place. So if you're new, you're not going to get that. So let's go back to the goal. We talked about that earlier. Whatever platform you're on, Facebook or YouTube, you do need to have a goal. You also need to know where your audience is spending time. Now, there's a lot of people on both Facebook and YouTube. Most businesses are probably going to have an audience on one or the other. But again, depending on what your goal is going to depend on which one you want to use. Do you have limited resources and you can only invest in one platform at the time? Pick the one that's going to give you the most return on investment. So let's talk about the platforms a little bit and their audiences. Both platforms have an entertainment base, but YouTube is a little bit different, and that has more of an education base. It has a search base where people are actually going to YouTube, searching for information, searching for things. They look for things on YouTube. I don't know about you, but anytime I'm trying to figure out how to do something, the first place I go is YouTube, how to, whatever it is I'm looking for. So depending on what your audience is, who you're trying to reach, what problems do they have that you can solve? It may be a problem that your service can solve. Maybe it's not something that your service solves, but still, if you can solve that problem for them, it's going to get you exposure and help create some brand loyalty because you're providing answers and solutions for their needs. So that's kind of a little bit about the difference of the YouTube side of things. It might be a little bit harder to gain momentum on YouTube, take a little bit longer to gain momentum on YouTube than it does on Facebook, partly because of the ad targeting, although you can do ads on YouTube. I haven't experimented with those yet, so I don't have a lot of information on that. I can tell you what I've seen and experienced, so not really sure about the effectiveness on for ads on Facebook for most small businesses. I'm sorry, not Facebook, YouTube. So Facebook, they actually have a larger audience than YouTube does. Almost everybody is on YouTube. Now, there would be those that say millennials don't spend any time on YouTube. And yes, I agree. They don't spend a lot of time on YouTube. They're more on Instagram and Snapchat, things like that. And there's probably some other new one out there that they're on that I'm not aware of. But they do still spend some time on Facebook. Maybe limited, but they do spend a little bit of time there. The audience that's growing on Facebook is the baby boomer generation. So if that's your audience, then Facebook could be a very good place to spend time. Also, the advertising on Facebook, it's a little bit easier to get in front of people and a little less expensive than some of the other ad platforms. One bit of advice that I received from somebody was, once you can get your ads converting well on Facebook, then you're ready to take it to other places because now you've found out what's converting, what is resonating with people, and it's just a little less expensive to do it there. Something that's changing on Facebook, actually, before I get to what's changing on Facebook, let's talk a little bit about the mentality of people on Facebook. When people are on Facebook, they're in chill mode. And it's either at the end of the day or in a break. They're not really wanting to think a lot. They're scrolling through. They're looking for things that are funny. They're looking for things from their friends. So it's more of an entertainment base. So you need to keep that in mind with anything that you're putting out on Facebook. The other thing is there's something changing with Facebook. Surprise, things are always changing with all of these platforms, which goes into the value of a consultant, which is another video I did, right? As consultants, we try and stay on top of all of those things so that you don't have to. The thing that's changing with Facebook is that they're coming out with a new video platform. They're going to, actually it's going to be a new app. They're going to be housing videos in it looks like a separate area. And the person who was sharing this information with me is a live streaming expert. And the value that they saw for the small business is creating a TV show, which I think is brilliant and I think would work very well. Because again, look at the mentality of people on Facebook. They're coming at the end of the day, the same time where in years past, they would have sat and watched a sitcom or something. Now, if you have a video that's going to be interesting to them or provide some value to them or be funny, then they'll check in. But you do have to get into the habit and the routine. And that's true too of any platform that you use. You're going to want to get into a habit and a routine of putting content out there on a regular basis. The other thing is that with both platforms, live is what they're valuing right now. They both want live. So anytime you're going live on either platform, they're going to give you a lot more organic reach. So that's something to consider, whether you're established or new. The other thing that I want you to think about is leverage. We want to be able to leverage whatever we create. It takes time to create it. Hopefully you're putting effort and energy into making it valuable. So don't just be a once and done, I created it and it's done. Share it in your emails to your list. People that are on your list may not have seen it when you posted it on Facebook. Share it on other platforms. LinkedIn and Pinterest are great places to share content like that too. You want to share it out over time, and if the content you've created is what we would call evergreen of value, in another 2-3 months, share it again and keep bringing it in front of your audience at different times. There's rule 80-20 you may have heard of. I'm going to use it in a couple places here based on your strategies for both Facebook and YouTube, but also for the content that you've already created. You want 80% of your content to be value-based and only 20% of it to be promotion-based. This may sound a little contradictory. By the same token, once you've produced that content, you want to spend 80% of your time promoting it and only 20% of your time creating it. This is a challenge, even for me, and I'm about promoting things. It's very easy to get into the creation trap where you're always creating and not taking time to promote it. It's especially true for me right now with Beta because I'm basically maxing out my bandwidth just creating it. What I found from the last time that I did that is then I was able to take the time in between and promote some of these pieces of content that I created during this season. I hope that my reader who asked this question finds value in this. If you have any further questions, please put them in the comments below. In the description box below are some things that I've talked talked about here, I'd love to stay in contact with you, so make sure you get that free gift so you get things that I only share with my readers. So if you need help with that clarity and focus, be sure to get that why worksheet. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so that you know when I post new things. Again, I want to help you in any way I can. I'm all about connecting the pieces to maximize your efforts. I hope you have a fabulous day. I will see you next time. Bye for now.